Hi everyone. So this is where I've gotten up to. I have had this threaded through, holding everything down, and as I've worked on each piece I've pulled it out. So I've got down the little barn door with the little slidey thing. I found a little bit of lace and I've put this here as a bit of like a little fence, and I've put this down. I've had to go round and round and through it. So I've used a bit of this green and a bit of it's just like similar to this thread, just a off-white. And then I did the lines through the roof. So that little spot is finished. What I've started to do is sew through here to put this on, and started to work through here. So what I've done with that, I'm using a long, thin kind of beading needle because it goes through really easily because it's got a good sharp point and it's not too fat up the top. What I've put on is 2 embroidery flosses of this pink colour because it was matching the background a little bit in case it shows through, and the same green that I've used on here. And I'm carrying that green through. So just was going to show you, I've got a single strand here, and what I've been doing is going around the edges of all the leaves. Now they're quite big bamboo leaves, so they're totally out of proportion if you think about it, but that's okay. I'm going to keep this out of the way. I was doing one at a time, but I just want to show you how I'm doing these leaves. So this is with one single strand. In fact, I did them on this one. I've done the stitches just shorter than what I'm doing on this one. Must be getting a bit impatient. So I didn't want to do this before I did the background because I am doing a little bit underneath, so as there's, you know, I didn't know, I didn't want to do it all if you know, there's bits covered up, but I also wasn't quite sure once I did this if I was going to cut around that sewing. I'm still not sure about it. I kind of like it because it looks a little bit like there's a bush behind it or something like that. Anyway, well, probably decide that later. So the idea of using a single strand around the outside was so as it wasn't as big as the stalk. I'll just show you how I did the stalks. Just put that there out the way, put that there. Got a double strand, and so all I was doing with the double strand was the same, but just it's thicker because it's doubled. Just doing the stalks. Okay, so I have been working around the, you know, just this thread that's just holding everything down, and just doing a back stitch through here with the 2 strands of floss, so as it's a bit thicker. And when I get to anything like this strand, I was just going under it so as it just will pull out easily. I decided I didn't want to leave it in. So basically I am doing this back stitch for in the middle of the leaves and any of the branches between. Sometimes, say for instance in this case, it looks like that finishes and there's nothing there. I've been making it up because you can. So once again on this one, it's sort of a little bit made up again because it's not quite obvious. And on the back I'm going through the thick thread. And I thought with this, I wanted it to look a little bit like, you know how paper barks are sort of dark and light. That's why I was putting the two together. The pink also, as I said, will cover this backing, but if any pokes through, it's going to look like it's part of it. And the green is just to keep, so in colour harmony, it just keeps a similar thing all around. So even though I've mixed it here with a bit of pink and it's totally changed how it looks, it's still got the basis of the green from elsewhere. So if you were painting, you would mix a little bit of that green in with the pink to keep the colour harmony working. So there was method to my madness, why I put pink and green together there, aside from the fact that I often find I use pink and green for some reason. So that's really where I'm up to. And what I want to do is just come back at each little spot and try and do little filmings and go off and do a bit more, because this will take ages. Even this takes a little while, but I just thought I'd show you where I'm up to. Oh, and I've so the same as this roof. So once again, it's sort of echoing the similar patterning, but on the front porch or the step or the pathway, or however you want to look at it, I've just done straight stitch across. I still haven't decided on this window or this yet, but I'll get there. The bulk of it I need to do just off camera is this to get that done, and then I'll come back. Right, here we have my next little bit. So I've added a little bit here for the door, just done a stitch this way instead of those that way, just for a bit of contrast, and it looks like it's a slightly padded cell door. Didn't mean that. I might find one of my little tiny weeny doll's buttons to put on for a door handle. But I've been through and done all of this, and I cut off a little bit because I thought I was going to run out of these two colours, and I got right to the very end of that pink. So I've finished going round these leaves, and I decided I might just do a tiny weeny trim, not too much because it'll fray. That's what I thought. I'll take off a little bit of this excess. Just getting my scissors in there. I feel like something should go down here, like maybe a little bit of this backing quilt, might be a little step or something. And getting the background of this cut down is really good, because now I can see that little fence and it kind of makes it stand out a little bit more. So I've got still the window and the roof and this window. Maybe I'll do a line along here, but I'll come back because I always like a little bit of time to just think between what the next bit is, rather than just launch into something and then it's not as thought out. I do launch into something a lot of the time without thinking about it. But this one, it's just so cute, and I just love little houses, and it's inspired me to think a little bit about, I think Anne had a little house, but I've seen other people doing little houses where they make all of the four walls and the roof, and they embroider each section and put it on a base and then stuff it with stuffing, and it's a little house. And it's inspired me to think about doing that. So that's now going to be on my list as well, I think. Have a little bit of a play with that idea. But for now, I'm just going to have a moment to think about what's... All right, I'm back and I've had a little think. I'm putting on a little stoop or step here, and that's made out of this edging seam, the seam off a pillowcase. So I've ripped this part of the pillowcase and the back of the pillowcase away and been left with the seam. And so I love this stuff. It just adds texture and dimension. So I've folded a little bit of the blue under and just got a little bit of this. So this was in a stash of someone's grandma or mum or something that had died, and it was just they chucked it in, and it's not dirty, it's just yellowed from age, and it's a bit it's a cotton, I think. Oh, there's a label. Let's have a look. 80 Mercer crochet, 20 grams, size 80 or colour 80. I'm assuming it's a cotton. It does, if you get a bit, because it's old, it takes a bit to break it, but it's not bad at all. So it takes a bit to get it through these thicknesses of material because of the seams and because of the quilting at the back. So I'm just going to use the trusty pliers to help me out. So who remembers the Jetsons? You know, it was a cartoon. I was talking to Lily about it the other day. She did remember it, we must have watched it, but it was because when I was driving, I had my GPS, I had my phone up on the dashboard as my GPS, and when that's up, it won't, I can't say, hey Siri, it won't work. So I was talking into my watch on my wrist, saying, hey Siri, for some information, and then having a good old laugh about remembering the old days with the Jetsons. I think it was the Jetsons, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Jetsons used to talk into their little wristwatches, and how now we actually have those things. Isn't it amazing? Anyway, thank God for Robovax is all I can say. Oh, that's a bit hard, this bit, to get it in. Frees up a lot of time. So, as everyone knows, I occasionally have someone come and stay, because this is a 3-bedroom place, and out of the 3 bedrooms, I alternate between 2 bedrooms, I got to admit. I tend to spend winter upstairs, so we're in autumn now, so we're coming up to winter, so I'm slowly moving my stuff back upstairs, and a girl that's stayed with me before from Thailand is here for a couple of days, so she's coming to visit. So I'm really excited to catch up with her and find out how her COVID's gone, because she has been, I think, stuck in Thailand for 2 years, and her husband's been in the Gold Coast. And they have a fascinating story, because just before COVID hit, they were about to move to America, where he was going to upgrade his pilot. He is a pilot. He was going to upgrade to be able to fly with a particular airline in America. So he got over there. He started to get everything ready for her. She went over there. She stayed with me just before she went. And then COVID hit, and he had to basically come back. So because he was working for an airline, he was in the know. I've probably told this story, but if you haven't heard it, here we go again. He was working for an airline, so he kind of still could finish his training. So when COVID hit, they sent her home to Thailand because her parents live there, and she has a house, so she's got somewhere to live, and said he would sort it all out. Because, you know, we didn't know how long it was going to go. We thought maybe it's a couple of months or something. He finished his training, then he went back to the Gold Coast, which is where he lived. Well, I think they both lived and they were still in the process of getting her visa. They're married. Anyway, he did that, and then I think she's been in Thailand the entire time. I'm looking forward to catching up and finding out what's happened, unless she's been backwards and forwards. I'm going to secure this. Yeah, I'm going to secure this down because I want to get rid of this loosey-goosey thread here that's hanging off. In fact, I can probably take it out and just put that window back in a sec when I work out what I'm doing with it. Because I'm not sure about that still. There, got rid of that. Just pin this so that the blue thing stays in the right spot. Little roof. Yes, so whenever anyone stays, near the front door I've got a bedroom right near the front door with an ensuite, and then upstairs 2 bedrooms. So if it was a family house, it would be the mum and dad, or the mum or the dad, or whoever, had the door near the front door and the kids were safe and secure upstairs. Anyway, so that I rent that room out or have people to stay. Occasionally I have an Airbnb that I don't know. Anyway, it'll be great, it'll be good. It's quite handy, actually. It's a funny thing because it's like, it can be, I don't want to live with people anymore after that 2 years during lockdown, but it can be a little bit of income coming in, which is good. Alright, cut this down. Or it can just be a friend in need. Let's have a look. What do we want to do now? Window. I did contemplate using the green that I'd used on the barn, but I think it might be a bit, maybe one layer just to go all around. Alright, the window, I am just going to put it down with a little bit of this same off-white. I've tried a little bit with the green and it just, I don't know, it was just really obvious. And I'm just doing a tiny little straight stitch, running stitch. So I'm considering that I'm just doing it very similarly to the roof. And I'm going to think about a window frame after. Right, today's a bit of a disaster. Every time I start, I have to do something. Let the cat in, let the cat out, go up and down the stairs. And it's reminding me of why I moved downstairs, because my knee's killing me. Oh, the hazards of getting old. Anyway, that's why when I am upstairs I think about selling and moving. When I'm downstairs I think, oh, I only go upstairs every so often, so it's okay. I'm going to put this blue, like shingles, like the other roof, on with this nice little running stitch. And I'll do that all the way up the roof. Oh, actually, I will, but did I sew that down? Oh, I must have. Okay, well, that's good. I was just going to say I'll just quickly do that. I've already forgotten because I've been doing this over a few days. Just a few little stitches under here. It's not going to show too much. I wonder if I should just somehow secure that. It's kind of coming off around the edge there. I'm going to just do a straight stitch down to hold it all down. It doesn't get caught on things that way. Would have been good having my big long needle for this one. I was going to do that. In fact, I've just run out of thread, so I will do that. Love this Shishiko needle. Bigger eye, of course, so it's a quick thread. So today is Saturday, and in Australia tomorrow it's Mother's Day. So hopefully I'm actually hoping to finish this video today and get it up so I can get to finished with April and on to May. Right, where am I? Here I am. About there. Well, this one's not going to run out in a hurry because I made a very long thread. Like Sarah, I like a long thread too. Just fiddly going backwards and forwards and doing that threading every time. Might take the opportunity to weave back in through here a little bit. Doesn't matter too much. It's not going to ruin the aesthetic of the concept that this is a window up the top there. Now what I can do here just to tie it off. I know it's kind of on the edge, but the way I'm putting them in the books probably won't matter too much. Alright, so I'm just going to do another little row along here. Of course, when you do a long thread, you've got to make sure the end of the other thread doesn't get caught, and then you're stuck with double for the whole thing, if that's not what you want. Okay, back to it. Yeah, so was I talking about Mother's Day? I think I was. So many distractions today. Anyway, I am going, I might have even said that in the last video, going to have lunch with my girls, or brunch we call it, when it's between breakfast and lunch, at a French creperie, which will be nice. And then Huss and I are going to Daylesford, and we're going to have a swim in the mineral spa. We're going to have a stay overnight at a lovely little country inn type of place, and in the morning we're going to have a little breakfast and then a nice wander round. There's a particular cafe art gallery there, so we're going to have breakfast there and have a nice little look at the art. Then we'll find a nice park and have a nice walk, and then that will be a good Mother's Day, won't it? Right, I think this could be a little bit more defined. I might add another colour. Right. That's a bit wobbly. Doesn't matter. I like it. So what other colours have I got in here? I've got the green as an addition. I've got that, it's not a red, it's a pinkish red. Is it called cerise or something like that? Like that. I've got the pink. I've got a bit of this green here in the step. A little bit of that blue which matches that. This orange is from this. I didn't end up adding any of that, did I? Oh, well, that can be saved for another day. The window. Wonder if this would work going around the window. I think it might. Right. Just thinking out loud as I make it up as I go. This is 2 strands of embroidery floss, and it can go in this one. Put the cat outside, by the way, with her food. I don't know. I mean, some people just are okay. I just find it such a distraction. You know, she doesn't like the RoboVac. She doesn't like the dryer or being in the garage at night when the dryer's on. And yes, I put her in the garage. Don't judge me. She honestly wakes me up 5 times a night if I don't. Right, let's see. Straight stitch or a back stitch. No, we'll do a long back stitch for these. This will just define it because it's kind of gotten a little bit lost in there, hasn't it? Anyway, I think when I'm recording, it's like I just don't want to be interrupted. I want to get the recording done and I want to be able to think about what I'm doing with it. It's like having a little baby sometimes when she behaves like that. Probably said that before too. I watch someone on YouTube who's got 4 or 5 kids and she just does stuff around the house and shares her life. So it's a real vlog. And her kids just do everything around her and she just records. And I've never been able to do that. I know some people can do that. Some people can work. Like I've mentioned before, I've got a friend who, she just refuses to clean the house. She says, no, I'm an artist, I'm doing art. And so she does it. And that works for her. And I go, yeah, but I couldn't think. And I've said that story before. But she can work in the chaos. And I spoke to my painting teacher once about it. He's the same. It doesn't matter. Art is the most important thing. And if you can't work, you know, it's good for your soul to work, whether you're doing your embroidery or you're doing your painting or sculpture or even cooking. So if you stop and have to clean the house 24/7, you don't get your creativity flowing. So after having kids and them growing up and leaving home, I find it's like, oh, it's my turn. My turn to do this stuff without being interrupted. So when the cat does her thing, it's not like she's not fed. I know I've said it before. She is fed. She's fed plenty. But she does have IBS, so she likes to eat a bit more than maybe normal. And she still has it, even with the right food from that the vet says. Right, here we go. Anyway, just having a bit of a ramble there. As Lily might say to me, you don't have to tell me everything that's going on in your head. Is that where I want that to be? If I do a line across the middle, it will indicate that it's a window, won't it? I think the trouble with this stuff is it's frays so easily. Like to try and put a little, like I was thinking like a little window box or something. I've got a butterfly, but it's way too big, out of proportion. I could put a little bit more of this blue stuff under the window. No, that's just not right. What about the red? I'm just thinking like a little window box or something. No, I just like the plain. Okay, well, it looks like I'm making it like a normal window. I know, I'm just going to do one line so it looks like it's a slidey window. Is that what they would have on a little cottage that has a barn out the back? I don't know. Oh, get that straight. There's wibbly wobbly and there's just some bits that you do want straight. All right, does it look like a window? I think I might have to do another one. Just another line down here. Yeah, that'll look like a modern window. So they've updated the farmhouse, given it an upgrade. Oh yes, that's cute. I feel that I'm going to do some work around here and around here and around here, but maybe that'll be another part. Right, so I've got, thinking out loud again, sorry Lily. Oh, I did think about this. I wondered about whether or not that could go there. If I do that, I feel like I might have to do a few more to like tie them in. Gold flowers. Okay, I like that. All right, I am going to do a whole heap more on this, so I will come back. That's my decision today. So thanks for watching. Love and hugs, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.